listening to Freshly Squeezed.
And when we'd done 2-3 tracks, he never came back to practice after that because, I quote, "you're all playing different songs at the same time."
Hello and welcome to another episode of Freshly Squeezed, your destination for finding new music, your destination for discovering your next favourite band. We're getting right stuck into 2026, finding you the best new music out there, and another 3 artists to tickle your musical taste buds coming up over the next 20 minutes or so. Don't forget, I say it every week, have you done it yet? Have you clicked the subscribe button, the follow button, whatever it is in your podcast app of choice? Click that. It doesn't cost you anything, just means you get the latest episode of this podcast as soon as it's ready, and you'll be amongst the first people to hear the brilliant new music featured. This week, we've got 2 of the greatest named bands I think we've ever had on Freshly Squeezed, including something very cool, loungy, and shoegazy from the brilliant Reluctant Bob and the Lonely Lovers. Reluctant Bob is Robert Baker, by the way, of the band The Crayon Set. This is his new musical side project. We'll get into why it's happening and musically how it's going to be different in a bit. We're also going to hear new music from a band who always seem to surprise with their releases. We've got some 90s-esque punk pop from Heavy Salad.
We can shake it down in sugary. We can make it our reality. Let's take it down and make some memories.
Feels like it could have been the theme to a daytime Channel 4 sitcom, that somehow. Really like it. More from them in a bit, but we're going to kick off with a brand new tune from the Marras, a slice of Northwest sing-along indie rock. We'll speak to the band shortly, but first, here's a taste of brand new tune Echoes.
It's a shame I'm walking, but I kept going. I turned another page as the world was falling, but I just can't explain how I came through. Yeah, this place I'm wrapped in, I gaze to the times when I'd run another mile to get to my journey's end, but all the signs to the end just don't ring true. It's a shame that you can't in the memories you walk with. I heard another song in you. It's a shame I'm moving on to something new. It's always better when
I'll give you a bit more of that in a minute. It's good, isn't it? It's brand new from the band Marras. It is called Echoes, and Kyle from Marras is on the pod. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good mate, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Let's talk about the band. So you got together last year, or first release was last year. I think it's fair to say, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that this band has kind of formed from the embers of another band, I guess, because you've got members in there from Calla Youth, The Notion, 2 bands that if you're into the kind of Manchester new music scene, you'll know about. So how did it happen? How did this project come about out of those projects?
Yeah, so from my perspective, the Notion came to an end last year, and Nathan used to be in Calla Youth, and he wanted to do a bit of a solo project. So we started using Sam, our drummer, to help him do a few demos and stuff like that. And then he got in the studio last year and just asked me to come down and help him with a few guitars and stuff. And I was sort of, after the Notion, done for a bit with music, but I heard a few of his songs and he had a really good voice, and yeah, it just came from there really. And then we decided to change from a solo project to a band, and then yeah, it just really went from there.
I was going to say, because last time I spoke to Nathan, it was back in May, and he was very much doing the solo stuff at that point. I'll put a link to the show we did with him in the podcast description. So how is it working for him at the moment? Is he doing the solo stuff and the Marras, or is it all attention on this at the moment?
Yes, we've changed the solo project to the Marras. So the first release that was Scream My House Down was actually under his name, but we changed it to the Marras. But we just thought it was as a band dynamic, because we wanted to all cohesively write songs together and everything like that. We thought it was better to change it into a band. We've been in the music industry for quite a bit. Obviously, he was in Calla Youth, we were in the Notion, and then Josh, who's like our lead guitarist, who's amazing. I think he was playing guitar for Ryan Jarvis for a couple of years as well.
I think I asked this to Nathan when he was on. I asked him what he learnt from Calla Youth good and bad, that he would take into what he did next. So I think it's fair I ask you the same thing, Kyle. What did you learn from being in the Notion, good or bad, that you can then bring into this project to kind of help it be a success?
Yeah, I think the songwriting side we've got nailed down, and we've got some really good songs coming up. But I think it's just the band management side and the social media game and learning to keep up with the industry and how it changes. I think with previous bands we didn't, get onto that social media game and stuff like that and learn the TikToks and everything like that. So we've been trying to do that to just branch out, because it's a really obviously saturated market and there's not a lot of help out there at the minute, obviously. But we're just learning to obviously try and get as much exposure as possible, and hopefully lead to better opportunities in the future.
Let's talk about the brand new tune. It's called Echoes. Fairly unique, I think, in that I can hear shared vocals, I think, on it. Is that right? It's you and Nathan doing shared vocals?
Yeah, so Nathan sings primarily most of the songs, but I did want to sing a couple of the songs, and this one was one of mine. And I just thought it's just a bit different to having the same vocalist. I thought we'd have two vocalists singing on the different bits of the song, but I think that it worked really well together. And I was going to sing it on my own at first, and then he started singing the verses and I'd sing the second verse, and it just works really well.
Is that something you think you're going to carry on going forward? Because you look at a band like Oasis and you got Liam and Noel. Yeah. They both got very different personalities, and like almost the nature of the song defines which of them is going to sing it. Is that something you think you'll be doing more of in the future?
The same sort of thing. Yeah, I think Nathan will sing most of the songs, but I'm going to sing a couple that we've got, and that's the way we're doing it for the set as well at the minute. So yeah, Nathan's obviously the main singer, but yeah, I'll be chipping in now and again.
The other standout element I thought on this track was the jingly jangly guitars. I think they're really reminiscent of Johnny Marr in places. And is his work and that of the Smiths, is that fair to say that is a big influence on the band as a whole?
The guitar sound, like that chorus sound, I think it relates a lot to like bands like Sam Fender as well. And I've been listening to bands like The War on Drugs, and I think that's really gone into this song. You can hear it, but yeah, that chorusy sound in the guitar definitely comes from Johnny Marr-esque and bands like that. Yeah.
I noticed that for this you've put a B-side out as well. I'm a big fan of a B-side, and they get largely left alone now. I guess they're a bit obsolete in the world of digital releases, but you've added the song For Rose with Affection on this. Let's have a little bit of listen to a clip of that.
You show them nothing for an evening is cast. A smile and wave I always wanted to last. 'Cause I was there to keep us safe as we all packed down for another day to dawn.
Now that is very different to the main tune, I think. So was that the thinking behind doing a B-side? It was a way to show off another side of what you do as a band?
Yeah, so this one was Nathan. Nathan wrote this one, and it was just one that he had like an acoustic tune, and we just thought we want to get as many songs out as we can possible, and obviously with it being an acoustic one, you can't really bring it out as a single, so we want to show every side to us as a band, so we're going to keep doing this B-side thing. But yeah, it's just one of his that he had, and we thought it'd be just a nice one to release with Echoes.
On the main tune itself, you got Trent Jackson, based in the Sherlocks. He's producing it. The song is a little bit Sherlock's-esque in places, I think. Was the sound a result of bringing him in, or was it kind of a bit of the reverse where you thought, well, this is a little bit of Sherlock's, we like what he does, so maybe he'll do a good job on this?
Yeah, I think we've all got that. We're fans of the Sherlocks anyway, and that sort of really big melodic choruses and stuff like that, it's something we do similar as well, so it was a good fit. Nathan's good friends with Trent. He used to do the sound for him in Callow Youth, so before he joined the Sherlocks, and then he's got a little studio in his house, so we just went down there and recorded it. But I think it's a good fit because he really likes the things that we're doing and we like the stuff that he's doing, so yeah, it was a good team up really.
Nice one. Well, it's working well at the moment, sounding great. Looking forward to the gigs you've got coming up in 2026 as well, and seeing you step it up as a band. Before you go, are you familiar with the Finnish band Marras?
No, I'm not.
So there is a Finnish band called Marras, not the Marras, they're called Marras. And if anyone should stumble across them instead of you, just to be aware, it's black metal and it's a little bit heavy. So it sounds very different, but just putting them on your radar. Kyle, really nice to catch up. Good to speak to you. Good luck with this project. I think it's going to go great guns, and cheers for coming on Freshly Squeezed.
Thanks very much, Jim. Cheers, mate.
I can see it from afar, there's a place for the skies, and I feel it coming through. Now I'm smiling out when the past comes to call, and nostalgia's blood, I'm facing the echo.
Loving that. It's new from the Marras, and if you're loving it, then you can check the band out live. Well, you might be able to, depending on when you're listening to this podcast, but if you're listening to it in the vicinity of when it was released, the band are going to be playing in Manchester, Academy 3 on the 17th of April. So if you're in my neck of the woods, well worth getting to that one. So let's move on. Next up on Freshly Squeezed, we're going to hear from Reluctant Bob and the Lonely Lovers. And Bob, hopefully not too reluctantly, joins me on Freshly Squeezed. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Jem. Good to be here.
So this, Reluctant Bob and the Lonely Lovers, by no means your first foray into music. Usually you're with the Crayon set. Why did you feel the need to do something different and embark on this musical journey?
Yeah, I think I just had accumulated a lot of songs. When you're in a band, I think sometimes it takes a lot of work to get everyone together, and it can be kind of a long cycle between albums. So I just had a bunch of songs together, and I'd been speaking to a producer I know. So yeah, it just seemed like the right time. It just kind of made sense, really.
So are the songs that you're doing with the Reluctant Bob project, in your view, do they not really fit into the Crayon set sound? Because I'd say the new tune we're playing on Freshly Squeezed today, Dream Major, it's not a million miles away musically from maybe something like Love Is a Real Place.
Yeah, I think some of the songs actually, including Dream Major, I would have tried out with the Crayon set. In the Crayon set, I share lead vocals with Kate in the band. So I suppose some of these were more, more, I guess, kind of one vocal in mind. Yeah, also in terms of, I think if you're in a band, you kind of fall into certain kind of routines. I maybe bring a song in and everybody always kind of plays on. So if you're kind of doing it on your own, you can kind of arrange it differently or kind of come at it from different angles. So there wasn't too much thought behind it. It was simply a case of really I had a lot of songs and I thought they were good songs. So it kind of made sense to try to record them and get them out. I mean, even with this, I kind of started the recording nearly 2 years ago. So it's been kind of a long time coming as well.
This tune was recorded as part of a session up in Black Mountain Studios in County Louth in Ireland, in the middle of a storm, I understand, which presented some logistical challenges getting into the studio and such like. It sounds to me like a horrendously stressful situation.
Yeah, the engineer actually had called, I think 2 days or a day before the recording was due to start, and he said, sorry, we have to cancel it. There's a little kind of residential kind of cabin, we'll say, next to the studio. That was totally flooded. Yeah, it was just impossible to get to. So he had to, even like getting there, he had to kind of ask a local farmer to collect us in his kind of four-wheel drive thing. So, it was really it took us probably 5 or 6 hours to even get there. It should be an hour drive from Dublin. So it's kind of a miracle that it happened. And yeah, I think even while we were there, it was still kind of bucketing it down and stuff. So, again, at the time I didn't want to cancel because it took ages to arrange everyone's diaries, these things are. So it's kind of like, a real kind of a mission to get it over the line.
Does that stress seep into the recording of the song in any way? Because you listen to the record and it seems very chilled. It almost seems very fitting for the location in which it was recorded. It's got this kind of ethereal sense to it. But I imagine if you're kind of coming into a recording environment and you're stressed and you've got this kind of chaos going on around you, it must be difficult for that not to impact what you're making.
A little bit, yeah. I think the guys I was recording with, they're all very good musicians, so I think it would take a lot to kind of throw them,
Mm-hmm.
There was that, but we did record it live, so it was kind of like it wasn't done to a click or like that, or it was all kind of done in the same room together. So I think some of that energy was captured. Yeah, it was all a bit stressful, but I think once we were there, we enjoyed it obviously, and it was good fun,
Well, I'd like to welcome you now, Robert, into my Mind HMV, if that's okay. This is the record shop in my brain where I store and categorize all the music I've ever heard, and I definitely need a hand with putting your new tune on the shelf. Where it goes is up to you, but if you'd like to step this way.
Okay, I'm coming. Yeah.
So here we are. First we need a genre, and anything goes. I don't want you to be pigeonholed by the usual jazz, rock, etc. In fact, when I was making notes on this song, what I wrote down was, it was like listening to Flaming Lips covering the Beach Boys in a neighbour's garden whilst you take a little summer's nap. That was kind of what I got, and that could be a genre if you want. So where are we going?
Gosh, yeah, I'll probably write that in my bio, I think, going forward. I love Flaming Lips, I love Beach Boys, so and definitely with the Beach Boys thing there, I think we definitely kind of aim for a bit of that, especially in the kind of bridge bit where there's kind of all the kind of vocal arrangements going on. So yeah, I think it is kind of a lo-fi, kind of a low budget Beach Boys element going on there, Yeah, the Flaming Lips as well, I think, in terms of that kind of bit more kind of psychedelic, but They have great pop songs too, Flaming Lips. So it's kind of like, that's always kind of what I'm trying to do, really, is write good pop songs. So I definitely happy to be in that section of H&B.
Let's title it Lo-Fi Psychedelic Surf Pop. How about that?
Brilliant, yeah. Can they create one for us?
It's just over there. Yeah, we'll put it there. It's fine. It already exists. So next up, this is a little bit tougher. We need to put it on a shelf. So we don't organise the music alphabetically here. We do it by influence. A song has to sit between two other tunes which might share influences or might share inspiration. So Oasis next to the Beatles is the obvious one. Where is this one going?
Okay. I think it's definitely a 60s feel to it. Maybe that's just because, again, it's just kind of done live. I'm happy to go with the Beach Boys again there. Maybe there's a bit of a kind of Bell and Sebastian kind of thing going on as well. So maybe, Beach Boys and Bell and Sebastian.
We'll pop it there. Robert, lovely to chat to you. Really enjoying the tunes of Reluctant Bob and the Lonely Lovers. Thanks for coming on Freshly Squeezed. I'll leave you in the record shop to have a browse around, but nice one.
Thanks, Jim. Talk soon.
People are just so weird. They say these are the best days of your life. Swimming in a sea of sadness. You don't want to get your hopes up. You don't want to do your homework. Dream major. Dream major.
If you like that from Reluctant Bob and the Lonely Lovers, that's called Dream Major. I recommend that you check out the back catalogue from the band I'm going to play you next, because although the song I'm going to feature might not be that similar, there are definitely similarities in their back catalogue to that. So let's just get the next band on. You can hear what they're doing, decide whether you like it for yourself, because it's Heavy Salad on Freshly Squeezed. Lee and Rob, welcome to the pod.
Thanks for having us, Jim.
Thanks for coming on. So this brand new tune, it's one of those weird ones. I put it on and instantly it felt really familiar. It felt reminiscent to me of both 90s US punk pop and that kind of scene, and then also 90s, like bands like The Wonder Stuff, and there's a specific moment in the track as well that really reminds me of Gigolo Aunts. Obviously, I'm tying it to a very specific decade. For you guys, obviously you're making music in 2026, is there a connection with that 90s vibe?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Like, we love our 90s music, our lo-fi and our grunge and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, there is a definite 90s influence with it. I found myself listening to Incesticide by Nirvana a lot late last year, and I just really was kind of inspired, to kind of do like a really basic like pop song like, Nirvana did. And I love that Incesticide record because they do the Vaselines, they do Molly's Lips on that, which is just one of those kind of 2-3 chord wonders. I just really like that kind of sound. And then obviously like a lot of the way that the song was put together in the studio is very reminiscent of that kind of, I guess, overdriven 90s pop.
Musically, that's what's going on in this new tune, Memories. But when you listen to your back catalogue, you move around a fair bit. You've got tunes like Murmutations, which has kind of got a ska feel, and then something like Oh the Vibrations, almost got like a gospel-y feel to it. Is that just you see each project as a kind of individual thing and you want to give it the right treatment, or is it that you stretch your musical muscles, keep yourselves interested as a band?
That's a good question. Yeah, I feel like we're like we're a bit like a musical mixtape. We love so many different genres of music, and we, as well as being a band, we speak and we share records with each other, and it's, whether it's come from me initially or come from Lee or someone else, other members of the band, we've all got this like crossover music that we love, and then we introduce each other to new things, and we're never premeditated saying like we need to be this kind of band or sound like that. We just have an idea and we work them together and we get excited about them, and we've got so many influences. We love our ska, we love our hip hop, we love our grunge, we love Frank Zappa, Man Out, whatever, crazy jazz, everything. It just keeps us excited, I guess. We sound like us because of the 6 members in the band, but we just throw it all together, we chuck it at the wall, and just keeps us excited, I guess.
I think the thing that ties it all together is that we really like writing like melodies, really. And it's strange, like bands more so in the last few years like tend to just have a sound. It's just like we're a post-punk group,
yeah,
or an indie rock group. like to me and Rob and the rest of our band, like we really love like records that kind of really mixed it up. I mean, obvious, kind of reference points are, like listening to the Beatles. It's like if I always think like if Revolver had have come out now, would everybody have just gone like, I'm not having this? It's got like too many different like styles of music on it. But to me, it makes total sense, And then years going on, like Clash, Sandinista has always been a big like one for me, and Hello Nasty by the Beastie Boys. All those records for me just sound like the band, but they play with like music, because obviously playing with music is such a kind of beautiful, spiritual, soulful thing to do, and I think tying yourself to kind of one genre, if you like, it kind of leaves you down a cul-de-sac a little bit, like, whereas if you don't worry about it too much, like Rob said, you just end up sounding like yourself.
Creatively, I can see how that's a really positive thing to do, but in terms of commercially and finding success, does that make it challenging? Because not only are you kind of surprising your existing fan base, but you might be finding new fans that come to you via one song, but then listen to the back catalogue and they're like, well, we wanted more of that rather than what you've done over here.
It does really. Because I mean, for the creative side of things, we've been a band for 6 years, and we've recorded 3 albums in that time, and I think that's helped us to do that. But I remember our first single coming out, and people going, it was quite heavy. The first single, it was one of the heaviest things we've ever done, and it sort of sounded like Sonic Youth and that sort of stuff, and then a lot of people, wow. And then the next single we dropped was like a psychedelic pop song. I remember thinking like, what's going on here, like, but the people that like sort of get it, but we went out to South by Southwest and we got invited out there, and the Americans seemed to really get onto that it just went all over the place, and was sort of 1 minute it was sounded like really heavy, and the next minute it was just some kind of really melodic pop song. But yeah, I think it's easier if you channeled it into one thing. I think commercially it would probably be easier, but we've never had a conversation about saying, oh, let's do that because we do that well. We just never consider it, have we, Lee?
No, not really. And I think I don't really have a problem with, confusing, myself, and I think the people who like it kind of get it. And then I think if like it kind of turns you off because there's lots of different types of things, then maybe like sticking in one lane is like maybe easier for you. But it's like going back to like our last answer, really. I think the kind of melodic structures of the songs and the way that we kind of go at it, like kind of makes them tie together in a kind of weird and wonderful way. It's just good to follow your heart, like creatively, isn't it? Because then it's sincere.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to ask a challenging question now. Now, this can test the fibre of bands, and we get some really interesting responses to it. This one might go slightly differently, because I don't think I've ever asked this to 2 members at once before.
Right, Rob, you go first then. You go first.
So, as a band with Heavy Salad, you get the opportunity to bring in a musical legend into the mix. It can be anyone from musical history, alive or dead, but you need to swap them with an existing member. Who's coming in and who's leaving?
Seeing as he's out of a job at the moment, I'm bringing in Stephen George from Flaming Lips, and I'm going to sack myself. Can I do that?
You can do that. You can take it easy. You can get in the crowd as support. Okay, that's one. Lee, what would you go for?
I'd like, I'm going to sack myself as well and go with, maybe like Mike Patton on vocals.
Do you know what? No one has ever not fallen on their sword with this question.
It's tough, isn't it, though? You couldn't sack anybody else in the band. Like, they're, I think they'd do the same, maybe.
Well, very harmonious.
If you wait long enough for every song, they sack themselves anyway.
Yeah. Right, one final question before you go. I know when the band first got together, very, very, very early days, it was jamming on a song called New Year's Eve in Kazakhstan, I think. Am I right with that?
Yeah, it was actually.
Yeah.
Like, I'm amazed you would even know that.
So when was that? Was this like, when was the season of the band?
I know for a fact that was 2018.
The early stuff was really wacky, to be fair. It sort of became a bit more streamlined, but it was, I'd love to, like, we've got some tapes, I'd love to go over them and record them at some point, because it was pretty out there, as you can tell by the song title there.
I actually loved that track. It was like a kind of lounge track that you'd like play like maybe on a cruise ship. And I have an interesting memory about that, where our original drummer, Hutch, his brother, came and jammed with us for that one, playing organ. And when we'd done 2-3 tracks, he never came back to practice after that because said, I quote, "You're all playing different songs at the same time." So yeah, maybe it's like Hutch's brother's fault that we turned out this way.
Well, I was going to ask whether there was a chance that song was ever going to see the light of day.
I would really like to do that.
Yeah.
I'd really like to revisit that one. Yeah, it's like it was like a real lounge funk kind of tune.
Now you bring it up, Jim. We might have to bring it back from the
Okay.
dead. That song, I forgot it existed.
Right.
But,
Well,
yeah.
when it happens, you need to come back on the pod and tell us all about it.
We'll have to do it on New Year's Eve. Maybe we'll record it live on New Year's Eve this year and release it as like self-destructing 7-inch. Have 24 hours to listen to it.
Lock it in. Sounds like a plan. For now, we'll have to make do with the brand new tune Memories, which is an absolute cracker. So, Rob Lee from Heavy Salad, thanks for coming on. We'll play the tune.
Thanks, Jim.
I could be with you, you could be with me. We could buy a sofa and a Christmas tree. We could go to Iceland, we could go to France. We could live our best life if we take a chance. We could shake it down in Sugaree. We could make it our reality. Let's take a dive and make some memories.
Do you see what I mean about the 90s thing they've got going on? It's new from Heavy Salad. It's called Memories. And do you know what? They're one of those bands. We mentioned it on the interview. Like, they do so many different things. Their music kind of flips between different genres. They just do what they feel like. Hugely creative. So if you don't like that, you might like one of the back catalogue. If you do like that, you're probably going to like loads in the back catalogue. Go and check them out. And if you want to check out any of the bands on today's podcast, Heavy Salad, Reluctant Bob and the Lonely Lovers, or the Marras, then you need to check out the links in the podcast description. They'll take you right through to their Spotify pages where you can discover a whole load of brilliant new music. The other way, obviously, to discover a whole load of brilliant new music is to check out the back catalogue of this podcast. Loads of bands that you might not have heard before. Get stuck in, see what you fancy. You can also follow our weekly new music playlist. There's a link to that in the podcast description as well. 10 new artists featured every single week. Right now, it features the freshly squeezed ones to watch recommendations for 2026. If you want some hot musical tips for the year ahead, that is the place to head. Right, I think I have filled you with enough information. I will see you next week. Cheers to your ears.
The award-winning Freshly Squeezed, a new music podcast, was devised, produced and hosted by Jim Salveson. Sound design and additional production by Ant McKinley. The music, Blue Blazer, is written and produced by Spin Class. Stop.